So when you were doing your skits, when did you decide to start doing stand-up comedy?
About 2 years later, about 2 years after I had started doing skits or whatnot, a couple people kept asking me, yeah, man, when you gonna come out and do these shows? When you gonna do these shows? I'm like, man, I don't know, because it ain't really been my thing. I just never like had a dream to do that, you know. But my boy told me my custody case was about to be over. Like I said, it was a 7 year thing. I said, man, I got a bunch of shit to talk about. I got a bunch of shit to talk about. And I never done karaoke because I don't like being in front of people with mics for real at the end of the day. I mean, now with the comedy shit, it's totally different because I may be right there nervous, like, damn, man. Then when it's my time, I get that mic, all that shit's out the window. It's time to work. You feel me? I'm just weird when it comes to that. But yeah, it took me about 2 years after I started doing skits to actually get on stage, man. One of the scariest things I could do, in my opinion.
What was it like being on stage for the first time, and how did you feel after you had finished?
Oh man, my first time on stage, bruh. Like everybody, so many people that knew me before this comedy journey, man. They were looking forward to me being on the stage, man. So I had a lot of people that were there, and some of my closest friends. I was like, man, look, I'm scared. I can't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just nervous for no reason. But as you remember earlier, I said, I don't give a fuck. Sometimes you don't give a fuck, but I cared so much about my performance. I cared about wanting to be good for the people that came out to see me that it made me nervous. But that's also a good thing because I played football my whole life, and if you don't have that nervousness, then you know what I'm saying, do you really even care about how you're doing?
Right.
So yeah, man, it was real scary. But once I started, I had a heckler. My first comedy show, bro, had a heckler, and I didn't know how to address the situation. I was reverted back to the me before doing comedy. A lot of people from this area be bidding. You know what I'm saying? We be talking shit. When I was growing up, you called it Joning. You know what I'm saying? So I immediately went to that and I fired her ass up for like the entire 10-minute set, bro. Everybody in there was dying laughing, bro. I felt as though it was great. I said, damn, I did it. But then some of the comedy veterans, you know what I'm saying, was like, man, that's not really comedy for real. You know what I'm saying? People actually came there to see a comedy show. And you were right, I'm body shaming, I'm talking shit, I'm doing all this, you feel me? Because that's what I thought comedy was. So that opened my eyes to the bigger picture. Like comedy is more than just being able to talk shit to and about people. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big eye opener for me. But yeah, that's overall how my first show went.
What do you feel like is the difference between doing skits and doing stand-up?
Doing doing stand up, it's lights, camera, action, baby. Once they call you out there on that stage, that's it. It's no do overs. It's no repeats. If you forget your shit, you better remember something. You better remember something. But when it comes to skits, it's not you don't have to. All you have to do is put a finished product out there, and that's what they're not going to look at the process that you went through to get it done. They're not going to look at all of the mistakes that you may have made while trying to get the skit done. You know what I'm saying? So it just like social media. You people see what you show them. You know what I'm saying? So if you're always showing this finished, edited product that's amazing, they're not gonna know what goes into that. So I mean, skits and everything is cool, but stand up is that's a whole different animal right there because you are live. Yeah.
So speaking of stand-up, you part of the Let 'Em Cook tour, and we got something to say. Comedy Jam. What has that experience been like?
Oh man, that was dope, man. Shout out to hilarious Omar Terrell and Manny the God, man. They got that tour going on, man, and they asked me to host it in Arlington, Virginia, Arlington Draft House on April 10th, man, and it was a hell of a show, man. We had a great time, man, and they've been in the game for a minute. Hilarious Omar's been around for a while, and when people that have been doing it for a while, when they want to work with you, man, that's to me that's tight. That's tight.
How do you like prepare for be going on stage?
So I first have to decide what I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the event. Some people have a routine that they take everywhere. I have one of those, but at the same time, it just depends on whether I'm hosting or whether I have a set. If I'm hosting, then I'm going to talk about a lot of current things that are going on. You know what I'm saying? Things that people can relate to, try to help people get warmed up and get ready to enjoy your show. Now, if I got a set, it it just depends on how I'm feeling, bro. But you know, I'll pretty much have an outline of the types of things that I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And then as I get closer to the show, you know what I'm saying, I start putting them in order and adding to it or taking from it. You know what I'm saying? And then I just start timing myself as I'm trying to get through my routine. But that doesn't always work because sometimes you may enter a room or you know you're doing this show and the crowd may not be one of those crowds where it's like everything's gonna work. Because sometimes you'll go somewhere and you'll kill the show, but you'll have another show that same night or something, and then this crowd is totally different. So you have to know or have to have other things to be able to, you know, interchange and remove and talk about something else or go to this direction now instead of this way. So, I mean, it's a lot. A lot of people think it's just super easy, but it's not easy at all.
What do you talked earlier about, you know, the situation with the heckler. Have you ever had like a really bad crowd?
Bad crowd as in
Like they weren't like receptive to your jokes, or
oh,
you know they would.
okay, so I will say that. I will say yes, but I'm not going to say they were a bad crowd. Maybe I was being a bad comedian. You feel me? So I'm not going to put it all on the crowd because if the crowd is there to laugh, if you're funny, they're going to laugh. It just may have not been the best night for that joke or these rounded jokes. You know what I'm saying? I've been on a stage before for like 4 minutes. And the crowd, it was like an open mic night. You know what I'm saying? So for open mics, some people there for the comedy show, and some people not. Some people there celebrating with their friends. Some people over here at the bars being loud. You know what I'm saying? So everybody doesn't respect the show. And I was at the very beginning, so to me, I was like, damn, man, they ain't really fucking with me. You know, so I got in my head a little bit. Next thing you know, I ended my set. I was like, all right, man, thank y'all for y'all time. I got off the stage. I was only up there for like 4 minutes. So I allowed, you know, that anxiousness within me, you know, to take over. And it's like, yeah, no, you can't do that. Get out there and do what you got to do. If they're not fucking with it, find something else.
Is it somewhat deflating when you deal with that? Like a crowd not really vibing with the comedy that you're doing?
When I first started, I thought that it was like that. Yeah, when I first started, you know what I'm saying? But then as you, one of the things that all of these comedians will tell you is like, look, man, like, you're gonna fall on your face at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? They've all talked about stories where it's happened to them or with them, and I'm no different. You know what I'm saying? But you learn from those things, and that's where you separate, you know, good comedians from the bad ones. You know, is this something that you want to do? Do what you got to do to get better at this shit, or stop doing it.
So as far as the DMV goes, like, you know, you got people like, you know, Pre and, you know, Davey, Goofies, you know, Andy, Coach Steve, all of them. Like, how do you feel like the DMV's comedy scene is right now?
I think the DMV comedy scene is cool. It's a lot of people doing their thing, but ultimately, I think the DMV comedy scene could be one that took over everywhere if everybody just worked together. If everybody, not saying that a lot of people aren't working together, but I believe we could have a comedy network that's like the comedy network in some of these other places, man. You look, like you see Skinbone in them, you see a lot of people down in Atlanta that are working together, people on the West Coast working together. But here, it's like, all right, it's just like with the rap game and shit, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody talk about people not getting together and working together, but we can control that. We can control that. So
Why do you feel like it's like that? As far as like people kind of like not really working together all that much, even though there are, you know, people that, you know, collab with each other. But like, why do you feel like the DMV comedy scene hasn't gotten to that Atlanta status?
ah, shit, man. If I had the answer, I'd be able to fix it. But you know what I can try to maybe egos, you know, maybe some people think that they can do everything on their own, which you can. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, especially doing comedy, you don't have to be cool with this comedian to excel your comedy career. You know what I'm saying? However, if you were to get together, you open more people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? People see that you have a movement. People see that this is a team. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people have ulterior motives. You know, does everybody even want to be a part of a team? Does everybody know what a team is? You feel me? So I mean, I just think it's a lot of different things. Part of the reason, shit, it's the area. It's how we came up. We spoke on that earlier, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people will fuck you over or backdoor you or betray you, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to experience any types of thing like that. So I think it's a bunch of shit that contributes to that.
Or how open and willing are you? Because you've obviously collabed with other comedians, but like how are you as far as like, you know, comedians reaching out to you trying to, you know, collab or do something with you? Like, is there like you like kind of vet who you would and wouldn't want to work with, or is it kind of just you pretty much open to anything?
I mean, if anybody's doing anything or trying to do something, I'm pretty much with it, bro. Because like I said, I'm big on that, you know, working together type shit. Because I mean, you never know who you may open the door for. You never know who may open the door for you. But working together, you get more eyes on everybody. Period. You feel me? So I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. And I've worked with people that haven't even had a lot of work before. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to you have to be able to know how to observe people. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't have the right intentions from the beginning. But you know, it's enough people out here that I ask questions. It's, hey, you worked with so and so before, this and that, this and that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we go from there. But I make my own decision based on me and how I'm feeling with that person.